Hello guys, Omni here. Just got back from the theater. Saw a double feature today, and I'm not going to say what it is just yet because I got a little bit of an intro here for you guys. If you've been following the channel, you know last week I wasn't able to get to the theater because of work and personal stuff to catch Child's Play or Toy Story 4, and those got moved up to this week, which makes this week the week of living dolls and toys. Because today I managed to theme up and do both of the horror films in one day, starting with Child's Play and then Annabelle Comes Home, deciding to put Toy Story off by itself so that I don't have it spoiled by this mix and match of tones. So it's just so strange to me and interesting that three films about living or sentient dolls or toys came out within a week of each other. That's so weird to me, but it was really interesting. And the first one I saw today, I started off with Child's Play. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while now, you know that I was not really looking forward to this film. The trailers didn't really do much for me personally. The peekaboo first look that we got was the most interesting part because it gave us kind of a sense of Chucky's personality and the way that he's going to function into the story in this new way. As we know from the trailers and from the promotions for this, that this Chucky is not possessed by a serial killer and there's no magic. This is pure technology. A smart toy gone rogue with its safety guards removed due to circumstances I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to spoil anything in this movie because it is a different take. It is a different direction for the character, this franchise. Which, you know, going into this too, I started off with an ill taste in my mouth because I still love the original franchise, which is still ongoing. There's a TV show that's slated to come out with the original creators, with Brad Dourif still on, following after the events of Cult of Chucky. And I know a lot of the people that work on that were not happy with the direction of this reboot, or did they get the blessing of this, given the property, I believe, is owned by the studio, so they're free to do whatever they want with it, despite the creators' interest and involvement. So there was a lot of ill will going into this movie. So I think the beginning of this film, I really didn't start to get synced into the meat of the film and finally give in to it until maybe about the end of the first act. But once things started going, you start to see Andy build this relationship with this doll. It really starts to go, and it's a whole different kind of dynamic where, you know, in the original, you had Brad Dourif's Chucky trying to take over and possess Andy to transfer his spirit into a new body. So, because the doll was supposed to be temporary, this is just AI. It's designed to be kind of like an automated or animatronic kind of nanny in a way. It's a toy that syncs up with your home with all the other Caslin devices, which in this world is very Skynet-y in the way that they're incorporated into cars, thermostats, their lighting. They make a whole abundance of smart devices and TVs and stuff like that. And on top of the app, that it kind of shows that it gives it a whole different kind of feel to it. And I didn't think I was going to like that going into this. And it does get a little over the top with some of the ways that Chucky can kind of get out there through the web, through the cloud and all of that. But the best part of this film is honestly the dynamic between Chucky and Andy. There's a real relationship there, and it really builds. These safeguards being taken off of the AI for this particular doll allows him to grow and learn in a way that the other dolls wouldn't or shouldn't. And he adapts, he evolves, and he really imprints on Andy. And that becomes a different version of where the original was trying to kill to survive, essentially. The other, and because he likes it, this doll is killing to protect his friendship with Andy. And I think it builds an actual emotional connection between the doll and the kid, and I really enjoyed that. And this kid, Gabriel Bateman, who plays Andy in this film, does a phenomenal job. Mark Hamill's voice performance, as always, being one of the kings of voice acting, he nails every moment of this and delivering that tone and that creepy kind of way that we know with his interpretation of the Joker and other very well-known villains in animation. Uh, and the same way that he delivers the same kind of warmth too, like you would from a Luke Skywalker. A lot of his character kind of comes through, and there's a lot of different layers to Chucky. And I really love that whole aspect of the film. Now, it doesn't take a lot of this seriously. It is very meta in the way that it references a lot of the concerns that the viewer is going to have, like the look of Chucky, the premise of the killer doll. And but it doesn't really break the movie in the way that you would with something like Cabin in the Woods or Scream. And I think it really walks that line very well, and it keeps the film really steady throughout. Even Aubrey Plaza as the mother, there's a real relationship between her and her son, and I feel like that was a very strong part of the film as well, along with the kids, the friends, the kids in the neighborhood that Andy eventually becomes friends with. In a way, they're a little cliche. There's not a whole lot of depth to them, but in the end, they all kind of worked out pretty well. All in all, this was a really enjoyable movie. Like the supporting cast, the detective, his mother, all the people that inhabit this apartment complex and the surrounding neighborhood create a very interesting dynamic. Of course, you've got the new male figure in the family unit coming in. The kid doesn't like him, and for good reason. Again, no spoilers at all, but for good reason he doesn't like this dude, and it ends up paying off. But man, I loved it. I was completely shocked by how much I enjoyed this film. I honestly don't have a whole lot of complaints about it that aren't just kind of personal with me and my attachment to the originals. And I don't think that made the film suffer. I really enjoyed every second of this movie, straight to the end. The theme song, Mark Hamill singing it, the credits, everything about this movie like just ended up sucking me in, and I enjoyed it. It was cheesy, it was dumb, it was engrossing all at the same time. The cinematography is really great in this as well. The production's amazing. There's only a couple of times where they had to use CGI, and that was probably the lowest points because it's very noticeable. But aside from that, most of this movie looks practical, and it's very, very well put together. And if you're into horror, I definitely recommend this. If you're into the Chucky franchise, don't worry. I would consider this its own beast, and check it out. This has my solid recommendation. By the end of the day, I would probably rate this an 8. I would probably give this an 8. Maybe a low 8, but it's still an 8, a B, B+, whatever you want to call it. I think it was a pretty solid film. So if you're interested, if you were curious, take my recommendation, go check it out. You'll probably have a good time and enjoy yourself. And they make use of their R rating pretty. This movie was really brutal, so I will say that too. So be prepared for that if you're a little faint of heart. This is not a PG-13 horror movie, as most of them seem to be these days. But yep, that's my thoughts for today. Here in a little bit, you'll be getting my review for Annabelle Comes Home, so look out for that. Let me know what you guys thought about this. If you've seen it, down in the comments below, share your thoughts, your opinions, and let me know. If you like this video, make sure to support the channel, subscribe, comment, and hit that like button for me. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments what you didn't like, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.